Here we go. Hey everyone, my name is Lisa and I make fitness and military related videos here on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below if you want to see more fitness and military related content. Now my first video was kind of like a fitnessy related vlog type video, but this video is going to be a little bit different. Today we're going to sit down with some tea in my Anchor mug and talk about some Navy stuff. Now, I got my fancy little paper so I don't ramble and don't miss anything. Let's get started. If you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I enlisted in the Navy Reserves in July and I am leaving on February 20th for basic training. Yes? Here we go. First things first, why did I join the military? I've always wanted to join the military. It's something that I've kind of always wanted to do. It's something that I've always been drawn to, and if you're in the military, you kind of understand what I mean. My first two experiences with recruiters were not very pleasant. My first experience with the recruiter, they told me that I could not join the military reserves, which is a lie. The second recruiter I talked to told me that I was not eligible to join the military of any kind, any branch, because of my tattoos. So after that, I contacted a friend of mine who put me in touch with this awesome female recruiter. She sat down with me, made me take a practice ASVAB. She talked to me for a really long time and got the whole process started. My number one tip for people wanting to join the military is find yourself a good recruiter. If they are not giving you what you want, if they are not telling you what you want to hear, find yourself a different one. There are always options. This is your life, okay? So if you are not happy with what your recruiter is telling you, there is another recruiter that will make you happier. Now, the ASVAB. When I took the practice ASVAB, I did pretty well, so to be honest, I didn't study for my ASVAB. I'm 26, I'm a little bit out of high school, a little bit out of college, so the only thing that I really did to prepare for the ASVAB was to kind of brush up on my math skills, like long division, multiplying, algebra, finding the area of a square, all of those different formulas that you learn in high school. Those are some things that you need to know for the ASVAB. And you're not allowed a calculator, so make sure you can do basic math in your head or on paper. Other than the math sections, the ASVAB also contains sections on reading, vocab, and specific sections based on what job you want. So if you want an IT job, if you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be in construction, they'll ask you specific questions based on those things. I would definitely suggest researching your scores, making sure you're prepared, especially if you need a high score for a certain job that you want. Just be prepared either way based on your job. The ASVAB was long, it was an annoying test, but everyone joining the military has to go through it, so just prepare to sit and stare at a computer for 3 hours. I took my ASVAB the day before I swore into the Navy. The way my recruiter had me do it was I drove to my recruiter's office, my recruiter drove me to MEPS, I did some paperwork, I took the ASVAB, I got picked up by a bus, the bus drove me to a hotel with a bunch of other people joining the military. I stayed over in the hotel, they fed me, they gave me dinner, they gave me breakfast. I woke up at 5 a.m. the next morning, they drove me to MEPS for my long day of physicals. So, let's talk about MEPS. It's not that scary. Just listen to your recruiter. Whatever your recruiter tells you to do it. I need some tea. I need a drink. Mr. Hero. Alright, so the first thing I did at MEPS was get my blood pressure taken. So I got my blood pressure taken, then I got my hearing checked. I sat in this little box thing with like 5 other people. I put headphones on, I had a little button, and if I heard a beep in my right ear, I'd press the right button. If I heard a beep in my left ear, I'd press the left button. Pretty simple. Then I sat in a room for, hi, Olive, hi. Then I sat in a room for about an hour with everyone else that was joining the military that day and did a lot of paperwork. Basically the same paperwork I did 3 nights before. After I sat in the room and explained all of my tattoos, what they were, how many I had, where they were, what they signified, I got my eyes checked. So they checked my color, they checked like nearsightedness and farsightedness, like the little E chart or whatever, and they also check your depth perception. I didn't know how much I sucked at depth perception, but I failed that part of the eye exam, which disqualified me from the job that I originally wanted. I originally wanted to be an MA, Master at Arms, but because I failed depth perception, I was not able to get that job. Failing depth perception does not disqualify you from joining the military. It just disqualifies you from certain jobs like aviation, MA, those types of jobs where you need good depth perception. Then I basically got my full body physical done by another female. She checked my spine for scoliosis. She checked my feet. She checked my ears. She checked my nose. She checked my mouth. She checked my wrists. She basically checked my whole body for bruises and scars. She also did a breast exam, and she also did a little peeky down there, which wasn't bad. They just kind of look, make sure everything looks normal. After my physical exam, I peed in a cup in front of someone. You have to pee in a cup with someone watching you pee in a cup. If you are pee shy, get over it now because you have to pee in front of someone into a cup. After I peed in a cup, I got my blood taken and then waited in a room with all of the females enlisting that day. So all of us basically stripped down to our bras and underwear, stood in a room, and did a bunch of these mobility exercises in front of a female doctor. She watched all of us do these exercises to make sure that we had no issues with our movements, with our knees, with our hips, with our shoulders, things like that. Anything that can disqualify you from joining, that's what they watched out for. Yes, they did have us duck walk in our bras and underwear. It wasn't that bad. So then after that, I'm pretty sure that was the last thing we did. I sat in a room, I waited a little bit, I ate my lunch because they do feed you when you go to MEPS. And then after that, someone called me up to the table and were like, congratulations, you passed the medical exam, go downstairs to your branch. I went downstairs, I gave in my paperwork saying that I passed the physical and waited to pick my job. So I waited and waited and waited for about 2 hours. This was probably the worst part because after the long ass physical all day, you have to wait longer in order to actually pick your job. For me, joining the reserves kind of limited me based on the jobs that I could pick, so my recruiter had a problem finding me a job opening. He basically told me, listen, it's 6 p.m., you've been here all day, let's make this worth it, sign a damn contract, we'll get you sworn in, and then we'll change your contract later. And I looked at him right in the eye. I was like, dude, you better promise me that you can change this because this is not what I want. And he was like, okay, I promise, I promise, I promise. So I sat in a chair, I signed a contract for Lord knows what, went upstairs, waited in a room some more, went in the oath room, took my oath, came back out, got my phone and everything, and left. So this process was about a 12-hour process. It's very long, it's very grueling, it's very tedious. But I suggest that you have everything ready to go before you go in so you only have to go once. My contract was not what I wanted. It was for a full-time support job. My ship date in that original contract was supposed to be November, which obviously was changed because it is December. My recruiter was really awesome. He was able to get in, change my contract, change my job, change my ship date. So I am now shipping February 20th as a hospital corpsman, and I'm very excited. That is really it. So if you have any questions regarding the ASVAB, if you have any questions regarding MEPS, please send me a DM on Instagram. I'll post my link down below. I am very open to talking about anything, so if you have any questions, especially if you're a female, please let me know. I hope this was helpful to some of you who are thinking about joining the military, who are nervous about the ASVAB, who are nervous about MEPS. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just do what you need to do, ask your recruiter questions, find a really good recruiter that you trust, and they'll hook you up. I hope you all have a really good day or a really good night based on wherever you are in this world, and I will see you in the next one.